Does anybody know what this orchard is? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not as prolific as it used to be, because in the early 1900s, in 1904, a report of a blight had affected an Asiatic chestnut tree. And these here are part Asiatic chestnut and part American chestnut, about a 16th Asiatic, just enough to resist the blight. This was a genetic crossbreed to save the American chestnut populations. Unfortunately, over the course of the next 40 years, from 1904 to 1944, 4 billion chestnut trees died out. The species almost went extinct. Some cross genetics were done, and breeding of Asiatic resisted to blight genes into the American chestnut was able to salvage what was left of the American chestnuts, and they're making a comeback. There's actually a huge market for chestnuts around the world. And America is only about 1% of the total market. It's still in the infancy of its global nut production. This is what the American chestnut looks like. It's a very wicked fruit, and it has some really sharp thorns on it. Now these thorns help protect the nut while it's still developing inside of the ovary. Now these spikes become more brittle and less rigid as they get older. But what happens is when these are actually ripe and ready to be eaten or germinate, which is what they'd want to do, they want to be germinated, they crack open on their own and they split and reveals the 3 nuts inside. You can have anywhere from 2 to 4 nuts. And these are absolutely delicious nuts. Never had one until today. It's a pretty interesting process of how they actually extract these nuts and bring them to market. They use a machine that will crush the spiky shells, and then they sift through and pull the revealed nuts out. And this is like an acorn, kind of. You actually have to peel this portion of it back. Now this is an old one, so it's not any good anymore. But inside of that, you'll reveal a green flesh. That green flesh is just delicious. Had it for the first time today, never had anything like it. But it's just interesting to see how when we put our thought and our mind into something so valuable as the American chestnut tree, we can actually help it make a comeback. And unfortunately, humans aren't the only ones who consume the American chestnut. There's 2 species known for sure that consume the American chestnut, the ivory-billed woodpecker and the passenger pigeon. And those 2 species actually have something in common. Anybody know what that is? Both of those species are now extinct. And it's just a side effect of us being so prolific and basically bringing the world so close. We're introducing things from other countries, and without a doubt now invasive species have become prolific. And it was an Asian chestnut blight that actually affected and almost eradicated all of the American chestnuts. But we're hoping that with continued work and education, we can help bring back the American chestnut. Unfortunately, we can't bring back the species like the ivory-billed woodpecker and the passenger pigeon. If you like this kind of content, be sure to hit the like button to show support for wildlife and trees, and subscribe and hit all notifications. And that'll help you be notified when I release new videos. We'll see you next time right here in the Great Outdoors. I'm your host, Alex. Peace.